designers here at NetherRealm Studios. You do a lot of the balance work for our games. And so I think we should start by saying everyone's been very excited about this. And there has been, in the past, a criticism that we've received that we tend to bounce very quickly, right? Yeah. And we've talked about this. It was a known thing when we started this game that we were going to let things rock and see how they played out. And that's worked for you. That's sort of probably giving you a lot more things to think about and balance.
Yeah, it's overall like generally always stressful, but it's something that's worked out pretty well, and it's given players the ability to sit there and essentially like flesh out their things and be able to know what to anticipate. And having sort of like a planned schedule has also like helped them out with the going towards tournaments and events. But then we've been trying to make means of like with like gear moves in the game. We've made tweaks to some of those gear moves. That's outside of tournament mode and stuff like that. Where that goes towards the general like player base of the game. And we've sort of been doing our best to look out for everybody.
Yes, it's also important, and like you were saying, it's giving a game a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
Like there are characters like Black Adam. We all know that there's some stuff that need to be done, and it has been done, and you're going to hear about it shortly. But then you also look, people learn how to play against him.
Right.
At Evo, he was not the same.
Right.
The same Black Adam we were used to. Getting two of them in top 8 just didn't happen.
Right.
So like. Black Adam will receive some changes, but the fact is, those of you who play Black Adam will still do very well with Black Adam.
Yes. I think it's important to note that we're very happy with the meta of the game, and I think most of the community is too. I think the game's in a really good place. So this patch is not meant to shake up the core way the game plays. It's just very slight adjustments to stuff that's a little bit on the weaker side and a little bit on the strong side.
Yeah, like, if you had like all the characters like in the bucket, it's just a matter of taking the top end and the bottom end and squeezing it together a little bit, so everybody's more and more even than they are currently.
We're not reinventing the wheel here.
Right. Our intention is, if you're a great Black Adam player and you play him because you think Black Adam's awesome, these changes will not like, man, I can't play him the way I used to.
Right. His gameplay's still the same.
Right.
Just might not do as much damage as he used to. So also, like you said, just kind of the thesis of the whole thing, again, is there's some characters who might be considered a lower tier character. We've given them some love to move them into the middle, and some of the characters who we all know may have been succeeding a little too much are being brought down just a little bit, so we're kind of just meeting in the middle a little bit and going to see where that goes from here.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are we looked at scenarios, and it's like, this scenario is very, very strong, and it's what we intended. We knew it would be very, very strong, but maybe it's just one notch too strong. So we'll keep that scenario the way it plays out, and it just won't be quite as effective.
Absolutely. I'm very excited about this today. We've all been talking about, all the fans have been tweeting us, of course, really ready to see this, so I want to get into it. I will tell you this. We're going to show some things. A lot of things, we're not going to give you a lot of numbers today.
Right.
When we put the patch notes out, you can read those. We're not going to say this is now negative, this is like, we'll kind of talk about that. But we're going to give you more of a grand overview of what we decided was the character's sort of main game style, and how we've adjusted it to pull them more into balance.
Yes.
So
and then later when the patch notes came out, if you're really into the minutia of this is now -3 instead of -4, we got you.
We got you. But we're not doing that today because we don't have... This is front and back, so we got a lot of pages to go through.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. Very excited. And also, some characters didn't get anything.
Yes, there are actually several characters where we're very happy with how they play. They do what they're meant to do. They're pretty good. They're not too weak, nor too strong, and we're just going to let them be how they are.
And I know that a lot of people look forward to these streams going, what is my character going to get? Well, maybe your character is kind of right where we want him to be.
And you have to consider that if you play a character who's pretty good but not great, when the absolute best characters are toned down a little bit, they naturally go up and become more viable.
So we should probably get started, huh?
Yeah.
We're going to start just on the screen, and we probably don't need to show this yet, Burke. Well, I'm sorry. I meant, I just threw Burke under the bus hard. Sorry, Burke. Okay, let's start with Sub-Zero.
There are no changes.
No changes to Sub-Zero. All right. Now, we're going to go to Swamp Thing. We can go to the screen now, too.
Okay.
And we'll put him up against, I guess we'll move a little bit ahead and go with Aquaman.
Yeah.
I know people want to hear about Aquaman. So let's start talking about Swamp Thing and where he was and where he's going.
Well, I think Swamp Thing had two key things we wanted to look at. Number one is he struggles very, very hard against zoning. And number two, his character power is great when he gets it out, but it has some limitations. So I think we wanted to look at those two things.
Yeah, and it's sort of like we want to give players the ability to fight back against zoners a little better than he could. It's not something where now all of a sudden he can get around projectiles and in crazy ways we couldn't before. It's just little small tweaks to his moves here and there.
So let's look at one. When his character power is active and he does Vine Grab, he has armor. Now the catch to this is he does not have armor when the move is actually reaching out. It's once it's grabbed, the armor goes in.
So it has to connect with the move. It's not something where now all of a sudden the Swamp Thing has got armored grabs. It's a matter of if the guy is shooting a projectile at you and you happen to catch him with the grab, it'll have armor then for that time if the grass is out.
And what that means is that would mean he cannot see you throw the projectile and he can never be zoned. It's a hard read. The Swamp Thing player has to know they're going to go throw the projectile. I've preemptively done the Vine Grab with the character power out.
Yeah, and it's his Vine Grab is fairly fast, so you can sort of anticipate some projectiles. It depends on matchups. It's something where it's not really going to go, now all of a sudden he's a great against zoners.
Right.
It's a matter of, it gives you a little bit more of a breathing room to fight back.
And then the second thing is we wanted to improve the functionality of his character power, and it now recovers significantly faster.
Yeah, so you'll be able to throw it out. You can actually even throw it out in some combos where you can do it down 2, go into the character power, and then continue the string afterwards. And just being able to just throw it out in neutral, and if the guy's going to try to counter with something, now you can attack with it. We've also made some changes to certain moves don't make it go away. Like that string there where he travels really far. If you have the character power out, before it would just automatically stop it from growing. Now it'll actually continue to grow and follow him.
It also will not stop growing if he is blocking a move.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's good because people will just touch him and it's on.
So basically these two changes kind of complement each other because it's easier to get it out, so it's easier to deal with zoning, and when he gets in and he gets him in the corner, it's going to stay out and be more effective. So he's still going to, zoning is going to be hard, but it's going to be a little bit easier when he actually gets his game going.
Awesome. Is that good about Swamp Thing?
Yeah, general for the what we call the big body characters in the game, we've actually made some stat changes so that they'll have more defense than other characters. So you're actually going to have a little bit more of your total health pool to work to get in on somebody, and that goes through some of the other big body characters.
Cool, and we'll probably mention those when we get to them. Here's a big one. Do you want to move on to Aquaman?
We'll just move on to Aquaman right now.
Let's do it.
So Aquaman, his really strong defensive playstyle, that's what he's meant to do. That's what he did in Part 1, that's what he does in this, and we didn't really want to touch that too much because, again, that's Aquaman players like doing it, it's a valid playstyle. But we did feel that when he gets going and when he successfully connects with the move, he's doing a little bit too much damage. So to that end, we made one really major adjustment with Meter Burn Tentacle Strike. It does not launch you.
So now instead of getting big convertible damage on a lot of staying back in trades, you now just get a flat chunk of damage. So you're not just going to be able to throw out strings and throw out things in a Tentacle Strike and then be able to Meter Burn it into getting these big damage chunks. You're now going to have to change up your combos and go for a Meter Burn Scoop, which is a little bit more of a risk to get your damage. But Aquaman's not really meant to be a big powerhouse character. He's a defensive wall.
And because he's doing the scoop, he's going to have to use his down 2 to then pop them up, and down 2 scale a lot more. So overall, yeah, his combos, when he just hits you with the back 1, it's going to be decent combo damage, but it's not going to be exceptional like it was before.
And we talk about combo damage too. You're talking up close combo damage, you can do the back 3 off of that. But also just as important, you can't do a trident toss directly after a full screen from the deep.
Yeah, it'll give you a little bit of less just convertible damage.
Right.
Something like practical things you'd be able to do is sort of just throw out Tentacle Strikes and then Meter Burn them and catch a back 3 where it would have done upwards of 300 damage. Now it's only doing the flat 200.
Can anyone guess, real quickly, what all of chat is saying right now?
They're talking about Trident Rush.
No, what are they talking about? Does that change alone?
I don't know.
Aquaman is done. It's
Aquaman's
over.
done? It's
Rip
over?
Aquaman.
Oh, okay.
Rip Aquaman, I guess, guys.
Well, do you want to talk about Trident Rush?
I think we should.
We've also slightly normalized the damage the Trident Rush does on block and on hit. It's still a decent chunk of damage, but it's not what it was before, I think. And that also means he won't build as much meter as he did before.
Yeah, because the meter build is the amount of meter you gain for blocking something is governed by the amount of block damage you're doing. So the more block damage something does, the more meter you gain.
Now, The disadvantage on block is the same. The guessing games are the same after you block it. It's still a great keep-out tool. He's still doing chip, but it won't be as oppressive.
Yeah, so you don't generally have to now change the way you play Aquaman. It's just a matter of your strengths are a little bit lower, but then his general base gameplay is still the same.
And then finally, the back 1, 2, 3 string is now negative on block instead of advantage on block.
Yeah, and it's not punishable. It's just something
right.
where it's just a little bit negative. So it's not just a straight, like, you have to guess between a down one, try to rush after. Now you can at least fight back a little bit.
Yes, it's very low negative. So down one's still going to be very viable, but it's not going to, it's not going to be like as much of a pressure tool as it was before.
Awesome. We feel good about is that the Aquaman?
That's Aquaman.
The Aquaman straight talk?
That's Aquaman.
Awesome. Let's keep going down the line. This is another good one to talk about.
Cyborg got no changes.
Right. I meant the next one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
And she's going to fight, who do we have?
I lost the sheet real quick, so let's do Atrocitus.
Let's do Atrocitus? Okay. So with Catwoman, we felt she was extremely strong because she's good in most aspects. She has great rush down, great neutral game, great wake up game, great counter zoning. And we didn't really want to like give her some weaknesses, so we thought the most appropriate thing to do would be to tackle each of those areas and bring her down just a little bit in all those areas. She'll still play the same. She'll still have great counter zoning, great neutral, but it wouldn't be so overwhelming for people. So here's what we went with. The first thing is her jump 2 was adjusted. It's still an excellent move, but Paul, you can talk about it.
Yeah, it's essentially the hit region or hitbox for it was angled up a little bit, where before it would angle down a little bit and it would let you clip people from very high up in their jumps. Now it's a little bit more of essentially parallel with her. So it's a very slight change, but it'll make it where you can't just throw it out like at the peak of your jump, like whenever you want. You sort of have to time it, like most other jump attacks.
We also looked at her back 3. When it whiffs now, it has a lot more recovery on whiff. So, and the hurt region was changed, so he's a little bit higher. So it's going to be much, much easier to whiff punish it. Like a Black Adam's down 1, his back 2, Superman's down 1. Every character in the game is going to get a good whiff punish if you're ready for it.
Yeah, and it's something where the frames of the move haven't changed. It's just a matter of now you should be able to hit it with the harder hitting attacks, and more of just general. If something looks like it's going to hit, it's going to hit her.
The follow-up to that is on block. It has changed, and she is now not pushed back as far as she used to. She's still pushed back. She's still in down 1 range, but before she would be pushed very, very far back, and a lot of times neither character was even down 1 range, and it is still -3 on block. So this is more like these two changes are more like. It's a great move. It's one of the best back 3s, but she can't just be as careless. She's gonna. There's gonna be a meta game after it's blocked, or when it whiffs, you're just punished.
Got it. One more thing about her character power.
Oh yeah,
we're still going.
We're still going.
Gotcha.
We also looked at her damage, and in several areas, her damage has been slightly toned down.
Yeah, and a lot of it was just changing damage scale after certain moves. So something like hitting like Cat Dash Meter Burn will now scale combos a little bit better afterwards. Same thing with using the whip attacks in the corner will scale a little harder. But it's something where it doesn't like now all of a sudden her combos are doing like half damage.
Right.
It's just bringing the numbers down like slightly, and the amount it brings down scales up the bigger the combo is.
Another thing is for her counter zoning, she no longer has armor on Meter Burn Cat Dash. That armor is just removed. So she's still going to have jump 2, back 3, tremendous walk speed, low whip. She's still going to do very well against zoners, but now they're actually, when she's absolute full screen, she's going to have to work her way into the mid-range to then use those tools. She will not just have the instant, I can close the gap immediately with armor.
Yeah, but the frames of move haven't changed. It's just a matter of, you can still throw it out. It's just a matter of now it's not going to have armor to cover you sort of being sloppy.
Right, now it would be preemptively, I think they're about to throw a fireball, so I'm going to advance really quickly and do it instead of just, it covers the whole screen.
Right.
And then lastly, with her wake-up game, her character power now has no invincibility at all. Her Rising Claw is still fully invincible, so it's a fully invincible combo starter, but she does not have a safe option that she can just use. Before she had a safe option that did a good chunk of damage, and an unsafe option that would cover the air. So her wake-up game is now significantly weaker, but still pretty good.
Exists.
Right.
Cool. I think that really helps with the people asking for. The back 3 is always a thing we've been hearing about. So, but again, still a very, very, very viable character.
Oh yeah. I think playing her in this version, it's still very comfortable to me. Like if you're a great Catwoman player, you're going to be fine.
And like we said earlier, that's kind of what we were going for. If you played this character, you can still play this character. You'll still be playing it the same way. Just a few of the toolbox got lowered a little bit.
Yep.
Let's talk Atrocitus.
Atrocitus. The main thing about Atrocitus is he is meant to have an excellent neutral game that really forces guesses, and he's kind of just, he makes you play his game. And we didn't want to adjust that too much, or we didn't want to get rid of that, but we wanted to adjust kind of how long he gets to do it and how easily he gets to do it.
Yeah, so like if you notice, like in the bottom of the meter where Dexter is, when you have it out and he uses attacks, it takes a little bit of chunks. We increase the amount that how much meter that the moves take. Like the shield takes a lot more, and the projectiles take a little bit more. So you'll have access to those things less often when it's out. So while you've got the Dexter out and you're doing forward 2 and like down 1 mix-ups with the cat, you can now do it a little bit less than you could before. So the person's not going to be stuck there guessing for as long as they were.
Also, if you push block him, it now takes even more than it used to. So if you want to use the bar and really waste a bunch of his cat time, that's even more. That was already effective. Now it's a little bit more effective. Yeah. Lastly, we made some adjustments to his 4-2 string and to his puke. So previously, 4-4-2-3 puke was a true block string. You had to block it. You had to take the chip. That is no longer the case.
You're a real master with this.
And now, once you block this, you can actually duck this and then punish it.
Yeah.
Now, however, 4-2-2 puke is still a true block string. So effectively what this means is if you want to play it safe, you want to do a block string, you want to build some meter, you want to do some chip, you want to just kind of keep them out, you can do 4-2-2 puke, you're good to go, nothing bad's going to happen.
Yeah,
however...
And if you've got Dexter out, you can then cover your longer options. It's just a matter of we don't want the opponents to be stuck there blocking for as long and trust us to be building that much meter. So it scales it back a little bit, and it sort of it changes up the mix-up game slightly, but it's still in its advantage if you just do forward 2 straight into the puke.
And he's still beast with the cat out, just
less time. It's less time, and then without the cat, his 4-2 mix-ups are the opponent just has an option if he wants to do the block string into puke, and then he can do his other mix-up options, which are unsafe. So it's 4-2 still an exceptionally good tool in neutral.
Right.
Yeah, there have been slightly some small frame changes to like the vomit move, where now it has a few recovery frames. And we've also made some adjustments whether you block it up close or further away. The amount of block advantage is even now, where before it would sort of be a lot more plus if you blocked it from far away.
All right. Actually, let's. I don't think we got anything to show here. Let's talk really quick.
Yeah, let's just talk about Flash. Flash obviously is exceptional up close. He may be the best. And as we saw at EVO, when he gets in, he is a monster. But we did want to slightly improve on his mid-range game in a couple of different ways.
Yeah, so his back forward 1 is a slightly faster.
2.
It's a couple frames faster. Oh, back forward 2.
Yeah,
the lightning punches. So that move is a couple frames faster, where you'll be able to use it to sort of whiff punish something your opponent does, and now it can actually punish the moves where it couldn't before. And also his from his running man stance, he used to have some meterless combo options in the corner off of like the charge, where we've actually made some adjustments where you can't do that anymore. But the power dunk move from it is now safe on block.
That's Running Man 2.
Yeah, it's Running Man 2. Yeah, so he has a little bit more options and sort of a way to get in from far away, but it's still a little bit risky, and it leaves you fairly negative, where you're not just like now bombarding somebody. It's just a matter of letting him be able to sort of get in that little range where he feels comfortable, and then from there you can sort of like step back with punish or try to jump in or go for a mix-up.
It's a little more utility from full screen.
And then lightning punches being faster, like Paulo said. It's a great whip punisher. It's a great block punisher. So the idea is a little bit better in the mid-range, an excellent punisher, and then up close he's just as good as he always was.
Cool.
We've also made change to damage scaling. So when his character power is out and you're in slow-mo and doing big combos, the maximum damage you get is a little bit lower. It's not something that's going to be like, oh, all of a sudden he's doing tons of lower damage. It just brings down the top end a little bit.
Okay. Green Lantern.
Green Lantern has no changes. He's a good character. Harley, no changes. She's a good character. Batman is next, so we'll just talk about him. Batman is, when he gets in, he's very overwhelming, and that's exactly what he's meant. That's what the character power of the meter burn batterings are for, but the meter burn batterings we wanted to bring down just a little bit.
Yeah, so it's a few more frames of a block recovery on Batman when he does it, so you won't be able to get in as much as you could, so there won't be as much guaranteed stuff. There's still some guaranteed stuff, and of course if you have bats out and do it, you can jill into whatever you want.
Like, for example, if he does not have bats out, and he does the meter burn battering, and they block it, and he dashes in, he is no longer advantageous. He's now neutral. So it's still, if you have bats, he can jump in. He still has very good options. It's really, really good, but the opponent's just going to have a little bit easier time dealing with it. And that goes for the up meter burn batarangs as well.
Yeah, and he's also had some damage scaling adjustments on bats and on grapple. And we've actually fixed a few things where before, if you had 3 bats out and you did a combo with the bats in them, it would actually do less damage than if you did a combo with 1 bat out. Now the damage scaling is consistent across if you have 1, 2, or 3 bats out, where it'll make it a little bit more even, but it's brought down a little bit.
Cool.
Red Hood?
Red Hood.
Well, Red Hood's got some very small minor changes. What's the dash forward?
Dive
the
thing.
dive. Yeah, the head dive is a couple frames slower on startup. It'll make it where currently it's probably the best punishing move in the game if you block something. Where now it's in line with the other good punishing moves in the game. And the same thing with his the meter burn of his character power. The ender to left the guy standing is less hit advantage. So now he won't be able to get some of the guaranteed setups he did before. But it's still pretty strongly in his favor.
Right. It's more like it's now a 9 out of 10 instead of 11. Still, he is still heavy advantage, but stuff shouldn't be as guaranteed.
Okay, we got
Superman. Now this is interesting because Superman is, a very, very strong character, and he's very well-rounded. So we decided to look at one particular move that was very, very strong, and that's the Superman, the flying punch, the back forward 3. So there are a couple of adjustments made to it because that's a great move in the neutral, and it's a tremendous wake-up attack. So it now actually hits high. You can duck it. And also, it no longer has armor. Similar to Catwoman, he no longer will just have an armored move that he can just do full screen. So that has 2 effects. It's no longer as efficient as this is a move I can do in the neutral, and it's kind of a why not move. And it affects his wake-up because previously, now if you duck it, you'll go under it, and if he does the rising grab, that'll whiff over his head.
Yeah,
so
and the rising grab also has a few more frames on recovery, on whiff, and on block. So now it's a matter of taking his really strong wake-up game and bringing it down a little bit to give him a distinct weakness.
And we wanted to keep 4-2-3 is the same. The air dash is the same. All that the lasers are just as good. We wanted the core Superman neutral game, which is the coolest part about him, is the same. Now it's just that's a defined weakness. The wake up not being that great is an easily definable weakness.
Yeah, so if you're a Superman player, you don't have to necessarily change the way you play the game. It's just a matter of now your wake up options aren't as strong. You got to play a little bit more smarter.
And there's been a few adjustments to his damage.
Yeah.
Cool. Joker.
Joker has no changes.
Right. We did Atrocitus. Gorilla Grodd. Some Grodd fans out there, and I am aware that you have some puns ready.
Yeah, he's no longer monkeying around. Okay. And I think the Grodd community is going to go bananas when they see this.
Okay, all right. Glad you worked on that.
Grodd is in the camp that Swamp Thing's in that Paulo was talking about as his defense going up.
Yeah, and then by having more defense, it'll let you fight your way in to where Grodd's really good up close, but a lot of times you'll end up spending a full half life bar get in, where with a little bit higher defense now you'll have a little bit more overall health to get left over once you do get in.
He's also had some damage adjustments that are I'm a super fan. The Stampede now does a pretty significant amount more damage, so you can go ape with that move, and the risk reward's really going to be in his favor. He also there's a few little tweaks a really cool one is when he goes into his character power, he can now cancel into his telekinetic push and the projectile immunity move very, very quickly.
Yeah, before you could always cancel into him, but it was very late in the animation, so a lot of times if you were doing a block string into his character power and then trying to push him away, you'd be able to get poked out. Where a lot of times now it's actually guaranteed block string, and it'll also combo on hit.
And Grodd brings the hype. Everyone wants Grodd to
everyone loves Grodd.
Yeah. Omega playing him at Evo was amazing to watch.
Coach Steve's always super high.
Steve's been great. Yeah. So.
And then lastly, his infinite combo where he could do a bunch of loops with the leap and a jump 3 has been removed.
Yeah, and you can still loop it a couple of times, which by the time you're doing that, you've done a big chunk of the damage already. Where before, when you were doing the longer and longer loops, it was doing very, very little damage, and you were getting diminishing returns. Where now you're sort of not wasting both players' time. You get your damage up front, and you can go into other stuff.
So you cash out pretty quick.
Yeah, and because he has other damaging moves, like Stampede actually does bigger damage now, you're more inclined to end your combo in that.
So he is still one of the highest damaging characters in the game. It's kind of not a timer scam anymore. Cheetah just got a couple of changes. Her 2-2-3 combo, which ended that drop kick, that's now safe on block. It used to be extremely punishable. and then her 3-2-2 string or 3-3-2 string is now advantageous on block.
Which one's that?
That's the crazy unblockable like mid-low overhead.
Oh, you can't block that anyway.
No one's ever blocked that ever. So yeah, but if you're at meta level 2 already, right. That will now actually be advantageous for her.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah.
Deadshot.
Deadshot is, obviously it's been a roller coaster with Deadshot. First he was like, there's never been a character ever better than Deadshot. Then he kind of fell off. Now we're back to he's actually good. And the zoning's obviously what everyone talks about. And we did not want to adjust that. We feel that's his character identity. The wrist shot and the rifle are great moves, but it's what makes him good. Yeah. But we did want to adjust how he plays when he's up close just a little bit.
Yeah, we've gone and changed the startup frames on a couple of his moves. Like his back one is a little bit slower, and it's a little bit negative on block. It's not like fully punishable. Same thing with the back 1-2. It's also negative on block. So you can't stagger as strong as you could before. And also to compensate for that, his down one is a 7 frame down one now, where before he didn't actually have a 7 frame move.
Right.
And his forward one is no longer a 6 frame mid. It's I believe it's an 8 frame starter now.
Right, but his down one now would be his fastest poke that he'd use to get out of pressure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. The main thing about Ivy is she wasn't really a great combo character, and her anti-air is pretty poor. And those are kind of weaknesses that we envisioned, but we did want to tweak them just a little bit. So her down 2 is a little bit faster.
Yeah, and it actually had, when she did her down 2, there's just like giant vine comes out of the ground. And before, it didn't actually hit until the vine was all the way at the top. Well, now we've actually given it like a rising like collision as it goes up. So it doesn't like start up instantly up here, but it does rise up quicker than it did before. It'll let you be able to like anti-air better than you could before. And we've also made changes to her character power, or not her character power. The move where she pulled out the vine and was able to like spin it around. It has damage scaling changes where moves with that don't damage scale as high as they used to before. So you can actually use that to sort of mix it in with your combos and do normal combo damage.
Right, and by no means does this mean she's now the queen of anti-air. It's more like, the idea is more that if you read that they are going to jump and you preemptively do your down 2, it's going to be more effective. And with her combo, she now doesn't do Black Adam damage off a down 1, but she's going, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, and then before you couldn't really get a down 1 into a combo damage thing, where now you can actually down 1 into the ball and chain, spin it around with the meter burn, and be able to get some decent damage off of that. It's still very high execution, where she's probably the highest execution character in the game, but that fits within her style, and you sort of have to like learn how to play with that.
Cool. Let's go to Supergirl.
Supergirl is a very similar story. She has two she's super well-rounded, and she kind of can do everything, but she does low damage, and her mid-range neutral game is very high risk. So we wanted to keep those weaknesses, keep her strengths, and just slightly tone them up. So damage.
Yeah, her overall damage scaling has gone up a little bit, meaning that in the middle of combos, the following hits won't do as low damage as they did before. It's not something where all of a sudden she's doing double damage. Now it just raises up a little bit. And then some moves that did no damage, like her meter burn breath move, actually did no damage when it hit. Actually does a few percent of damage now, where just that will actually increase her combo damage a little bit.
And in the mid range, her back 1, 2, 3 string is now totally safe on block. It still has if she does back 1, 2 meter burn breath, you can still interrupt it. So she doesn't have Superman's 4, 2, 3. But if you want to have a safe option, you're not going to do a lot of damage. You just want to end it. You be safe. You now have that as an option. And then secondly, her standing 2 has been slowed down a little bit, but it's been made mid. So it's a very fast mid move that you can do 2-1 EX breath. It doesn't have a lot of range. This is not meant to be like, dude, she now has top 5 mids, but it's a nice option that you can use for like punishing if you're up close and they're respecting your down 1 or they're trying to poke back. It's still, now she has a pretty good mid.
Yeah, and the whole combo now is also safe on block, the 2-1-2. So you can also just throw that in there, mix that up with the back 1. It'll sort of make her up close game a little bit stronger than it was.
Awesome. Green Arrow.
He's good the way he is.
I think so too. Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate, again, the way he envisioned him is he's one of the best zoners in the game. If you struggle in a zoner, you've lost. But the trade-off is he doesn't have good offense and he doesn't do good damage. But we wanted to slightly, like Supergirl, keep him a low damage character while adjusting it a little bit.
Yeah, so when he's got his character power active, if you meter burn his glyph move, it bounces them off the wall. Combos after that are doing a little bit more damage than they were before.
And right, so if you use all your resources, if you use a bar meter, using character power, you can get a little bit more. And then lastly, his Glyph mood has been made slightly less punishable on block. There were some matchups where certain characters could actually punish him, like if he did 4-2 Glyph, which is his main like kind of keep out mid-range move. They could actually punish him on block and a huge damage. There's going to be less of those scenarios now, and that move's going to be more safer than it was before.
Awesome.
It will still be negative. Like it's not like, oh, now he has a mid-range move that's like plus 20.
Okay, cool. Blue Beetle.
He's good the way he is. The Scarab says no buffs.
Awesome. Firestorm.
The Professor says no buffs.
All right. Aquaman we've done. Canary. Now, Canary is the character I've been working on.
Oh, you weren't supposed to spoil it. There are people watching the stream that don't care about balance. They want to see the belt match.
Oh. No, I don't think that's true. So I've been working on Canary, so I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
I'm not great at her yet, but she's my favorite character to play right now. So let's tell them.
Well, with Canary, like Flash, she's amazing up close, like one of the best. But the mid-range, she was pretty high risk. She had to take a lot of risks to get in. So we looked at some of her moves that are kind of lesser move used or punishable moves that probably didn't need to be, and we made a few adjustments.
Yeah, so a lot of her strings, like her 1-1-2 is safe on block now, and it'll jail the entire thing. Her 1-1-2 into throw is actually a real command grab now. So that string is something where the opponent, if he's blocking, is going to grab them. So they got to jump out or do whatever to get out. And you can sort of mix it up with going into her like handstand moves and her like drop from the air. So you can mix it up, and it'll make her mix-up game, which is her main like tools, a little bit stronger than it were before.
Her 3-3 is now actually slightly advantageous on block, so that's a pretty fast mid that can lead to her pressure if they block it.
2 kicks.
Yes. And then some of her moves out of her cartwheel, out of her handstand thing, have more pushback, or they're safer on block. The up kick is now, it's still a high, but it's actually almost always safe now. It just might flat always be safe now. And lastly, like we looked at like her back 1-2. That now does a little bit more damage, and it's totally safe on block. So she's not going to get combo. It's not like she has a mid-range combo starter, but it's a safe option. You don't have to commit to doing a launcher, and you're going to get a knockdown and a little bit more damage than you would before.
Also, Canary Cry level 3 is an instant kill.
Yeah, that was when Paulo said that, I was like, whoa, that's bold, but yeah, okay.
I don't think I was going to make it.
Oh, didn't make it.
Okay.
Did not make it.
That was just for you and Derek.
Okay.
That's for me and Derek when we play. Sorry. That did not happen. I apologize. Awesome. Moving on to Darkseid.
Darkseid has no changes.
Hail Darkseid. Wonder Woman.
I think we're actually going to show her.
Let's show Wonder Woman and the person standing next to her,
That's perfect.
Black Adam.
Regime buddies.
Yep.
So with Wonder Woman, we wanted to basically, she had a few things where the air shield and the ground shield didn't behave the same, and we wanted to kind of make them the same. Like, for example, this now doesn't have auto block, so you can actually get a combo. Whereas, just like the ground one.
Yeah, and it's something where it's only, you're on hit advantage only a few frames. So something where you're not really going to get a combo unless you're right next to the guy, where if you're next to the guy doing that move, it's sort of really big risk. But if you're from like half screen away, you're going to get a shoulder charge, which isn't doing a lot of damage. It just does a little bit more damage than it did before.
We've also improved some of her key normal attacks. Her 4-2-3, which is a very short range, very slow low, that used to be punishable. That's now completely safe. So, this isn't meant to be like the greatest low attack ever, but if you want to use it, you've conditioned them to be standing because of her overhead. You don't have to worry about being punished on block.
Yeah, and it's still a very slow, like low, where you can sort of read it coming and get a meter back 3 in there. It's just a matter of it's a little bit of a safer option than before, where she had to sort of just her mix-up game up close wasn't that strong. Where now it's a little bit safer than it was.
Her back 2-3 is now actually advantageous on block. It used to be very punishable. However, this isn't meant to be like, man, her pressure is insane now. You can see they're actually pushed very far back. It still has the gap, but if you want to do this the full string, you're now safe on block instead of being punishable.
Yeah, and that gap there is pretty big, where somebody can read it, and actually some characters can jump out, some characters can poke out. But it just gives her a little bit of a damage tool. It'll also help her against delayed wake up, where if you're doing the back 2 and the guy delays wake up, the 3 could catch him on getting up, and they're forced to block it, and then she's plus.
And then lastly, her character power. We actually said it when we showed her on stream that our intention with her character power is that you have it active like half the match. Like, you're supposed to be using it constantly. And that's why it has the fast cooldown. So to that end, we've actually shaved off a lot of the recovery on it. So it's much safer to go into it.
Yeah, and you'll be able to like throw it out in some strings and throw it on and and injure combos in it, and then leaving yourself at an advantage as opposed to you can take some damage off your combos because she does very high damage, but then getting your character power off will make your follow-ups change them up a little bit depending on which character power you get.
All right, so let's talk about Adam.
Adam has no changes.
Adam actually got a damage buff. No. With Adam, I actually think we really like the way he plays. He's really great at what he does. The only real issue was he just hit a little bit too hard. He was meant to be high damaging, and he's very high damaging. So I think his inherent weaknesses, like his poor wake up and forward one being a high, those weren't as easy to exploit because he hit so hard that the risk reward kind of skewed the scenario. So we looked at his damage.
Yeah, his damage is going to be a little bit lower all across the board, and some things like the cloud move, where before it gave him any kind of link after it, now the opponent can block at that point. So in order to be able to combo off the thing, you're going to have to meter burn it to keep him in line with all the other launchers in the game.
So he's not only is he going to do a little bit less damage, he actually has to use more resources.
Yeah, it won't be as easy to convert sort of like any hit into damage like you could before. But if you want to spend bar, you can go into the meter burn cloud and go into dive kick.
And I would say his damage normalization, while he still does good damage, this is a little bit more significant than like we talked about with Flash. So let's show one. What do you think? How long till I get the combo?
I think he'll do it first try.
Yeah, so something where you spend a lot of resources there, you spent your gimmick meter and bar, and it does significantly less damage than before. He still hits very, very hard.
Yeah,
like
40% is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, he's in the Superman, Wonder Woman to hard hitter range. Just a matter of it's now more in line with the rest of the characters as opposed to being up there by himself alone.
Right. Call it.
I'm absolutely feeling myself.
I bet you are. Cool. So just nerfs for damage. Yeah. Normalization.
And again, I think if you're great with Black Adam, the dive kick is still great. You know, all these the orbs are still now scaling combos, but they're still a tremendous round ender. Oh, and that reminds me. Speaking of his dive kick, all of the changes that were previously not in competitive mode throughout the last few patches are now in all modes for all characters. So you can go back and look at those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and generally, like if you're a Black Adam like me, or even if you like play Black Adam on the side, his general game plan hasn't changed at all. It's just a matter of you're gonna hit a little for a little bit less damage, so you're not gonna think you're gonna play a little bit smarter. But your general like game plan hasn't changed at all.
So let's talk about Leonard Snart.
Captain Cold.
Basically, our designers just kind of went through it, looked at some of his moves, and made him a little bit more efficient, I think.
Yeah, there's been a few hitbox adjustments on some of his attacks, so they can hit a little bit easier in combos now. Same thing with like a standing 3 is actually really good anti-air, where before the hitbox was a little bit wanky on it, where now it'll actually, if it looks like it's going to hit, it's going to hit. We've also, some moves have been a little bit, his like hose move or left the circle on the screen. You probably know the actual name of the move.
Down 4-3?
Yeah, well, that's not the name of the move, but...
Arctic Trap.
Okay. So like, yeah, that move activates a little bit faster. It's a little bit less recovery. And the same thing with his wall from max range. When you did the wall and then meter burned it to send the wall across the screen, there was actually a pretty big gap in there where you could have got shot with a projectile. We've actually lowered that gap down to just one frame, where now if you're putting up the wall and then meter burn it, you've got a very, very small chance to actually get hit by a projectile, where now from full screen you can sort of like fight the best zoners in the game.
Cool. And to be clear, the gap is for when this is for counter zoning. If you block it, the gap's still there.
Yeah, if you block it, the gap's still the same. Where you can try to blow it up with a very fast attack, or try to like get out by backdashing or whatever. In general, like his game is a lot of like mix-ups and this very like annoying little poke zoning game. And he fights a lot of the like characters that don't have projectile very, very strong.
Right.
Like people like Bane and Flash, you put a ground power out there, you're dropping blocks. There's very little they can do.
Yeah, so we kind of viewed him as an awesome utility character who's really, really good in some matches. So we kind of wanted to take what he does and just kind of adjust it without like giving him no weaknesses and stuff.
Really one of those character specialist type characters.
Oh yeah.
It's total coincidence that Captain Cold kills the Flash in this game.
Okay, let's do Robin and Brainiac.
And we're actually going to show him.
Yep.
So Robin's another one of those characters who we love how he played. And shout-outs to Hayate, top 8 at Evo. He was awesome.
He was great.
But like Captain Cold, the design team kind of looked at some of his moves and saw that there were some things that whiffed. There were some things that working the way they were intended to work when the game came out.
Yeah, so it's like a few of his strings have had their hitbox adjusted to better match the sword when he's swinging. That should make better on opponents that are blocking, and also make it a little bit easier to like combo people out of the air and to be able to convert some of his damage, where before some attacks would have whiffed.
Another thing is his forward 3. His forward 3 had an issue where he would sometimes hop over them. So he can now actually aim it. He can do far or close, like Harley and Supergirl.
Yeah, and it's something where if you're just throw it out there and you're not going to hold it back, you might actually miss the person or go over them. It'll put like the act of hitting it in the player's hands.
And lastly, they've looked at his swoop. His swoop used to, the meter burn part, he would actually sometimes miss or not track correctly, and that's been looked at and sped up. So that'll make some of his cross-up setups and stuff, some of his block strings even better. It should hit significantly more consistently now.
Yeah, you're going to sort of have to pay attention to where it hit and be able to block that cross-up, where before you could sort of just block it wherever, and then even if he meter burned it, he would throw the projectile the wrong way, where now it actually auto-track and turn around.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Brainiac? Lord Brainiac?
Lord Brainiac.
You want to control him?
Yeah.
All right, so with Brainiac, the big thing is we increased his damage in a lot of different attacks, and then the biggest thing here is a heavy redo of his, not a redo, a heavy look at his character power, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, so like if he's got his character power, yeah, here. So like before, if I had my character power out and the opponent hit me, it would actually go away completely. Where now, if the character power is traveling and I get hit or I block, it still goes away like it does before. But now if I have my character power out and I get hit, the act of me holding it is maintained.
And that goes for block as well.
Yeah, so something where like if you get your character power out and he hits me with a sweep and knocks me down, and I go for my wake up, I can actually now release my character power to sort of like cover my wake up and then be able to attack on top of that. So just having that and the ability to do this, and then you can do pokes, the opponent now, because your character power won't go away when you block it, they're going to be a little bit more hesitant to just poke Brainiac back. And if you do something that's safe and Brainiac punishes you now, he's going to be able to convert into damage as if he had his character power stored, which will let you convert into things like a little bit of a pop-up, the character power hits, you hit a back 3. He's doing big boy damage now for blocking attack, where before his damage was pretty low if he didn't have his character power stored.
Right, so now he's going to hit harder in punishes situations. He's going to be able to be a little bit safer when he gets up close, and he's going to be able to do with zoners who really regulate his character power a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it's super exciting for Brainiac.
Yeah, cool. One more, I think, right?
Yeah, who's left?
Bane.
Oh, Bane.
And then we're going to talk over a few general fixes.
Okay.
And then we're going to bring Derek in. So, nice job so far.
Oh, Scarecrow got no changes. And scary, right?
Yeah.
It's because the...
I get it.
Anyway,
Get it.
with Bane, I think we all love how he plays. We just wanted to... first off, he's part of the group, the tank group, of having better defense. So again, he's... getting in, getting out, footsied, getting zoned out. He's going to be able to survive a little bit longer. And then our designers really looked at some of his damage on some of his moves.
Yeah, so because of, to give him a little bit of higher defense, we actually took a little bit away from his strength. But because his base strength now is a little bit lower, we increased the damage of some of his normals, where he's going to be doing pretty much the same damage as he did before, or a little bit higher in some situations.
Especially you'll see his meter burn moves, the actual meter burn part, like the meter burn Bane Bomb, those kind of moves, those do a little bit more damage.
So he is a true powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of his his standing one is a little bit faster now, where it's on par with other jabs. That'll let him poke out of like before. If he was on debuff and then the opponent's got heavy advantage block strings, there wasn't much Bane could do except sit there and block or wait for his character power to come back. Now you can fight back with a jab, and because of his jab can lead into like a meter burn wall bounce, he's going to be doing big damage if he happens to catch you.
Yeah, so we did cover that where, now he has a jab in line with everyone else.
Cool.
His down one is still slow because it has such a, imagine if that was fast. So now he has a jab. He does have a better option to get out.
I just imagined it.
Oh my God.
That'd be amazing. Maybe next patch. So that's awesome. So that right there is our character normalization.
Oh,
check.
we should also talk about interactables. There's a couple.
We're gonna
Yes.
get there.
Okay. Oh, whoa.
Oh,
Sorry,
Whoa.
we're gonna get there. So Derek, I hope you're
Derek.
paying attention. We're gonna be going for another few minutes, and then you're ready to go, and we'll play again. So that is our sort of first pass.
Yeah.
We're gonna let that rock.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there's a lot of like little small changes here and there that have been talked about, but those will be out once the patch is ready. We're probably not anticipating it coming out this week, so if you're going to Defend the North, you don't really have to worry about the patch coming out right before that, but it's going to be at some point soon.
Yeah, awesome. So just some general stuff real quick. There's a lot of them. I'm just going to name a few of them just to kind of talk about. Fix some currency and Motherbox exploits. Attacks that collide with roll escapes and rollability now act as if they have missed.
So that was something where if Superman was doing a laser and you went to go meter burn roll through it, the laser hitting you while you were in your invulnerable frames would actually, the game would think that you blocked it. And then Superman would then be able to meter burn it, and that would force you to like try to block after it, and it would hit you. That also caused a lot of other weird issues where some moves would think they blocked, where now if you do a meter burn roll, you're almost invisible like you're not there. Right. The frames and nothing haven't changed. It's just that'll make it a little bit easier to get in some situations where you couldn't.
Okay. Users can now directly equip an item received from Motherbox from the decoding menu without having to exit.
Yeah, it's a part of our ongoing ways to make managing your gear a little bit better, and that's going to be coming more and more different things each patch.
We'll probably during the Starfire stream, we'll talk some more about some stuff that's upcoming, like we like to. Like Steve had said, all the stuff that had been put into the tournament that had not been put into tournament mode is now in there. So look back at the old things. There's some Atrocity stuff, some Bane stuff. Interactables.
A handful of the interactables have been toned down a little bit by adding a little bit more cooldown.
Brainiac ship drone interaction respawn timer is 4 seconds, was 2.
Yes.
Fortress of Solitude wall punch is 4, was 3.
Yes. There's a couple more.
And more. Yep. So just a lot of stuff that there's pages and pages worth of stuff you can read if you're super into the numbers and the small stuff like that. But we wanted to give you guys an overview of how all of the characters we're going to be playing now. Yep. And I feel like we've done that. We will post the patch notes to our forums, and then we will tweet them when they are ready. Won't be today, won't be this week likely, but just want to give you guys a heads up of what you should start thinking about. I know there's a lot of theory crafters out there who want to start talking about that.
I cannot wait for the hot takes right now.
Oh, I'm excited to see my Twitter. I'm sure it's blowing up with hot takes.
I'm so excited for the hot takes.
So I feel I'm really happy with how this worked.
Me too.
I'm very excited about this new patch. I think. Like I said, we weren't trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Right.
So, awesome. We're going to take a brief, very short break. Thank you, Paulo, for being here.
Yeah, fun to be here.
That's awesome. So that's it for now. We're going to take a quick break. Derek's going to come in. We're going to do a lantern battle. Then we're going to let you get on with your day.
Not a single person's going to leave. They're excited.
I don't think they are. Well, we hope you enjoyed the part talking about the balance. And again, we have Twitter. If you have comments, if you want to talk about things more,
I'll take hot takes. I will. I volunteer. Give me your hot takes.
Give Steve your hot takes.
Absolutely.
Only respond to them if I tell you can. Okay, I don't. Be careful.
What's your hype level at now?
Like, I'm now thinking about the takes, and it's like a 15 out of 10.
Oh man, there was times where the chat was going so fast that I was just like, all right, let's see how this goes.
My phone started at 40% battery. It's now down to 11. Oh, cool. So me and Derek are gonna have our quick best of 5.
Yes.
I'm gonna try
Tournament standard.
my new Black Canary. Which Steve, tell them about my new Black Canary.
Well, she's a fledgling. Yeah. She just hatched, but there's potential.
Yeah. Have I beaten you?
You did get a game on my Wonder Woman once.
Out of how many?
5, 8, 10.
Yeah, probably.
That's not bad. She's a fledgling.
But truthfully, I will say, she is right now the most fun I've had playing a character in a long time. Because she's more challenging than she's too challenging for my skill level, and it's making me play the game. It's making me play the neutral as much as I can.
That's what I told you, that playing Black Canary will make you a better Injustice player.
So I'm going to fail for a long time, but I'm really enjoying playing her.
So that was his option select right there. He's going to fail.
Yeah, she's always been one of my favorite character designs.
Sure,
she's awesome.
I'm also playing against Poison Ivy, which I've not been doing very well.
Why are you spoiling things?
Because they're going to find out in about 2 seconds.
All right,
they're looking at the screen. They see it.
You're the worst at this.
I'm pretty much the worst at this.
And this to me is a really cool matchup because it really represents one of my favorite things about Injustice is the character archetypes. Right now we have a goddess of rushdown versus a goddess of defensive lame style zoning play. Super hype.
Let's do this.
You're hype about this?
Dude, I'm hype.
Good.
Woo!
I'm literally on the edge of my seat. All right, so Tyler immediately jumps in, goes for the trip guard, but is not on time. That's okay. There's the trip guard. Very, very good fundamentals from Derek. Meter burn back 3. Poison Ivy's meter burn back 3 also got the same treatment as her down 2. It's a little bit faster and has a little bit better hitbox. Vines. A ton of jumping right now. All right, there we go. Pukey's out.
Dang it! Pukey's gone.
Standing 2 in the throw. Let's call it a reset. 4-2. Good. Meter burn back 3. All right, into the combo. I like it. Instead of going for pressure, Derek just backdashes, starts doing the vines. That's how you play Ivy. Dr. Pamela Isley. She's a doctor, you know. There's like 5 doctors in this game. Harley Quinn, Dr. Fate.
We only accept the best.
All right. Now, the nice thing about Black Canary is she can easily make up this life. No, never mind.
He goes over with that a lot. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, Canary obviously struggles to get in, but she's beyond explosive when she gets in.
That was what you told me to do. It didn't work.
Well, so far you've literally done nothing but jump.
I have trouble getting
in
past
the parking lot. I told you to stop jumping so much, and literally it's like up forward is broken and is stuck on. You just started walking for 5 seconds, got bored, and jumped again.
I'm playing a little more carefully this time.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, Pukey.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, this is starting to look insurmountable. This game's not going too well.
He's gonna YOLO super any minute.
I'd do it. She does have level 3. Oh, man, that was probably the last big chance there. One change with Canary is out of the cartwheel, the hold 3, the scissor kicks, now has a lot more pushback, so it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, for most characters to punish it.
Yeah, I'm having any trouble here.
Unfortunately, Tyler not able to get anything going. Oh, okay. What? If you make this comeback, I'll give you $100. This would be insane.
You want to split it?
Yeah, no.
This would be crazy. Oh!
He's trying to get me. He's just trying to get me in those traps.
Yeah, Pukey's out. Pukey's gone.
Huh. I'm gonna go one more with that.
Only one more?
I think to me,
I'm not gonna change characters yet.
Sometimes when you play a rushdown character, you're just gonna have a bad first round. You're just not gonna be able to make it up. You can't get emo about it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Don't get emo. See, I was playing Saucy Jack, aka Ken,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, I was like, thank God Tyler's Black Canary is not nearly as good as yours, because he was just wiping the floor with me. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's just like mean-spirited. Like, I don't know why you just dropped the room down there. Like, I don't know why you went...
He said my flash was garbage.
I mean...
My flash is garbage. All right, let's go.
I don't know why he's getting all cocky.
He's making it personal. Right, he's making it personal.
Because you remind me every day. You don't want to lose again. You don't want to make it 5 weeks, do you?
I like this. Well, never mind. But there was... Oh. More patience. You really got lucky there. Pukey's out. Calm down. Oh, bomb. All right, level 3 is in play. Let's see. Tyler, when Tyler plays well, he has a really good success rate on hitting meter burn scream, or level 3 scream. Very patient. Just, it's the threat of scream. It's not scream, it's the threat of scream. Look at that.
No. Oh, no.
Okay, a lot of blocking. Shocking amounts of whiffing. No one has connected anything for like 100 seconds.
Pukey's done a lot of work for me, I can say that.
He's going to sit in, I guess, right?
Okay, when I told you to be patient, I didn't mean literally don't do anything. Like, there's a middle... All right, here we go. Oh. All right, this is still... If you can get in one time, that's what... Oh, man.
See, I can't believe that doesn't hit.
Okay, okay. Oh, man. This is not looking good. Remember, you're sitting on level 3 screen. You've had it.
I wish you'd stop saying it so he wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Derek's not going to adjust to what I'm saying. Oh, man. Good convert. Good. Level 3 scream. All right, that was... Things are not looking good. Okay, parry. All right, back 3. Candle. It's her birthday. Pukey's out again. Level 3 scream. The level 3 scream has not hit a single time. That man.
Isn't it weird that he's blocking that though?
Well, you got to think. The power level 3 scream is it makes the opponent stop what they're doing and start blocking, and then you work your way in. All right, here we go. Oh no. This is looking rough. Okay, all right. Signs of life. This is gonna end the round. All right, good. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Here we go, man.
There have been bigger comebacks than this. I've been part of them.
I can't.
Nope. Oh, did not keep her in the corner. A rookie mistake. Okay, whoa, we got momentum here. Very good air escape. Very smart meter management from Derek. That was really, really smart. Oh, the couch up. Whoa, oh, we got a match here. Oh my God. Dude, can it? No! Oh, you gotta get out of the couch. Oh, this could happen. Oh, I'm so hyped right now. Pukey! No! Oh, so smart. Good play from. Oh no! Okay, that was so hype.
That was pretty fun.
Now you have a tough decision to make. You just started playing much, much better, or are you gonna go to another character?
Yeah, man.
You're gonna go to another character?
Yeah.
You're in Dark Side, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna give some insider information here.
Yeah.
What?
Some inside baseball here.
Okay.
Tyler was very confident in Darkseid versus Ivy. And that's been the secret weapon.
Oh, that's been the secret weapon?
He's been hiding in Apocalypse, looking in his crystal ball, waiting.
Is this what you've been doing?
You know
waiting for Ivy.
You know that I'm good at Darkseid against Poison Ivy. Like,
Damn it.
He's just starting a narrative.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, this isn't a shock. This
You know what?
is a story.
Let's just go.
Don't do it. Don't
I'm
do
doing
it. Don't do it.
I'm doing it. Let's go.
You're gonna regret this.
You're gonna regret
You're gonna
this.
have to win 3 straight.
And then you're gonna be like, oh, I gave it to you.
I wouldn't want if I played Darkseid.
I'll never say that.
Yes, you would.
Yes, you will. You're gonna
as
say
soon as this
5
is over.
minutes. Yeah,
you're
5
gonna
minutes.
say
from
that.
now.
Button.
All right.
Wow.
See?
I'm not a person who says that I would have won or something. If I
Yes,
picked it,
you do.
Yes,
when
you
have I
are.
ever
Yes,
done
you-
that?
Like
All the time.
literally every week.
With who?
Everyone.
You always do that.
I've
All right.
won the last 4 weeks.
Okay. Oh, that was a good start.
Okay, good start. This
This is what
everyone
we
in the chat needs to give Tyler spirit energy. This would be incredible.
That's
Look
not
at
a
this.
thing. That's not a real thing.
Spirit energy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Meter burn back 3 gets blocked. Oh, everything
Oh.
is turned. This is insane. Everything's
I've never
turned
seen
around.
anything like this.
This
I'm
momentum
scared.
shift. This seems rigged. Level 3 scream. Pukey, good patience.
No.
Oh, Pukey staying forever. Oh, she's gone. Oh, 4-3.
Question.
Oh no, these mix-ups. By the way, in the top corner, you can see a little icon that means competitive.
Yeah, somebody asked about that in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, meter burn back 3. All right, you've made bigger comebacks than this. This is
This is nothing.
this
Black
is not-
Canary
yeah, this is
can
not-
do it.
Black
That's the
Canary can
thing.
do it. Black Canary can get in one time, and it's over. The problem is going to be getting in one time. Oh no. Oh, look at that. Burrow. These are dark.
I missed it.
Oh,
He missed
no. That's it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
Oh.
We have a new champion. Did I speak too soon?
Oh no! Why would I do that?
You gotta get out of the couch. You're sitting in them. You're sitting in them.
I don't care.
All right. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Uses the scream, wins the round. I approve of that. It'll build back. You had to win the round.
We're still not in a bad place.
Tyler's main problem here is he has no bar. He has no bar for conversions.
And he has no confidence in himself, currently. Which that makes
I
me
think
a
he's
little
building confidence.
I just picked this character again. I feel like that means I have confidence, but
Yeah. No, I think. All right, this is good patient play. Oh no. Okay, no combo from Derek. Level 3 scream. That was probably our last breath here. Her gasp. Nope. Okay, you got to make something happen here. Pukey's out. Oh, this is gonna be rough. Yeah.
good match.
Yeah, I think
I did what I wanted to do.
the last 2 games you start off with a big deficit and then kind of ran it back. So
It's hard to get when she keeps running away. It's just hard to get there for me.
yeah.
And that's her game.
Yeah.
Right? Just stay away and.
Congratulations, Derek is now the champion again. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be back next time.
Yeah.
Peace has been restored in the realms.
I felt like peace was the realm with me winning, and now chaos.
Chaos has
Yeah.
brought
Chaos returned.
Yeah.
So that is it, guys.
Woo!
We are going to have a Starfire stream to show off and talk about how the character works and talk about some of the new stuff being added to the game.
Which I'm super hyped. She's awesome.
She's
Yes.
really fun. I've seen you play her a lot. Enjoyable stuff. Congratulations to Derek, the new Lantern champion again. I will tell you this: my Black Canary will be back.
Your Black Canary was garbage.